all the time about the Indianapolis Colts. I want to be positive. Things could pivot. Yes, the momentum is really, really negative right now, entirely negative. But it can turn around. They can hang a U. They can go in the other direction. Chris Ballard could do that as a general manager of this team. I don't know if he will, but I'll tell you exactly what needs to happen for this thing to get back on the rails and start moving in a positive direction, because it can happen. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Indiana University basketball. The Hoosiers, they got a game tomorrow afternoon where they got to win. They win, I think they're in the NCAA tournament. They lose, I think they're out of the NCAA tournament no matter what happens in Indianapolis, because let's face it, there are some teams in the Big Ten that Indiana just cannot beat. But tomorrow they play a team that they can beat. They play them at their place, at Ohio State, but they can get that done. And we'll tell you how. I think you know how. If you're watching Indiana, you have an idea of what they need to do in order to win games. Pacers, they played tonight late, 10:30, against the Los Angeles Lakers, and we'll see what happens there. LeBron played last night. Will he play tonight? I hope so. The Pacers, the Lakers, I think, are 38-24. So the Lakers are a team that on their court should beat the hell out of the Pacers no matter who plays for the Pacers, because Tyrese Halliburton isn't walking through that door. That's a good thing. Then you go to Portland, then you go to Sacramento, and hopefully you lose both those games. It'd be great to come back from this road trip absolutely winless. Let's keep stacking those L's, boys. This is Breakfast with Kent for Friday, March 6th, 2026, brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry, Dr. Mike O'Neill, the best dentist in the world, and that's why he's my only dentist. I've only seen him the last 33 years. I do not cheat on a dentist. 317-849-2933. I should say I don't cheat on a great dentist, and that's what Dr. Mike O'Neill is. His entire staff, absolutely the cream of the crop. Again, 317-849-2933. You got a hole in your mouth, he's got a hole in his schedule. Let's go. Become a member. Membership has its privileges. You'll be able to join us tomorrow. All members on Saturday. It is Coffee with Kent. We get together, chop it up about sports, about 9 o'clock every Saturday morning. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. Become a subscriber. When you are a subscriber, you win cool stuff. Like this beautiful $90 Indiana University basketball jersey, which M. Graham-Indiana won yesterday. He has not yet DM'd me his name and address. M. Graham-Indiana, you got to DM me your name and address on X. Or it goes back in the hopper, and we will re-gift it to someone else. Good morning. Good morning to you, Toby. Appreciate it. But you've got to be a subscriber to win, and then you've got to use the phrase that pays as your entry in a comment. You can do it once per video, and the phrase that pays today is Ballard's Great U-Turn. That's what we're going to make the phrase that pays today. Ballard's Great U-Turn. How about that? Barsco Media says Coffee with Kent is just a great way to kick off Saturday. Be there, be square. By the way, great weather today. 77 for a high. Sunny skies a little bit later in the day. Rooting for the Pacers to lose seems so strange and uncomfortable, but I'm on the tank train anyway. Hey, sometimes discomfort is what you got to do. We'll talk about that with Chris Ballard and the Colts, because he's going to have to get uncomfortable this offseason. He's going to have to do what he doesn't want to do. We're going to talk about that. He's out of here at the end of the season anyway. May as well throw all the crap against the wall he can and see if something sticks. And see if something sets the team up moving forward to, expand upon his late developing success. Knock wood. Smash that like button. What are you doing? Smash the like button. And if you want to make a donation, no big whoop, but please include a comment or a question that elevates the level of conversation on this channel. Will you? All right, Colts momentum entirely negative right now. No question about it. But that is not irreversible. This can be turned about. This like a roundabout. You go into the roundabout, go all the way around, go the other direction. That's what Chris Ballard can do. Here are the things that must happen for the Colts to turn this thing around. Alec Pierce must re-sign. And what I have heard from people inside the Colts is that they are still very, very optimistic that they can get Alec Pierce done and they get an extension done for him. Daniel Jones must sign an extension not for $38.7 million in 2026, but over a longer period of time with a lower annual average value. You've got to get the cap down so you can go get guys like Devin Lloyd, maybe Hendrickson, and let's go get this thing right. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Michael Pittman must agree to an extension to come off that $29 million cap hit for the upcoming season. Mooney Ward must return healthy and stay healthy, and that's a definite need. But I threw that in there where I did because it's not financial. Right now, everything's financial, and it kind of gets tedious with all the cap stuff. So I try to mix it up, throw something in there that's not cap related, because Mooney Ward is he's an expensive, yes, but a very productive member of this team when healthy. Mooney Ward, Sauce Gardner, and Kenny Moore might be the best threesome of cornerbacks in the NFL if they can all get on the field together. Quentin Nelson, extension, lower the cap number. Ditto for DeForest Buckner. Ditto for Jonathan Taylor. You got to release Zaire Franklin. He's $8.5 million or so. Get it down to $2.5 million in dead cap money and go on your way. Zaire Franklin can't play anymore, and I'm not sure he ever could. He totals a whole bunch of tackles, but somebody got to make those tackles. That's Zaire Franklin. Nobody else is around. I'll tackle the guy 7 yards downfield. Now, sometimes he does make a tackle for a loss. That's a big deal, but not often enough. And he can't cover anybody. Wouldn't be able to cover me. That's trouble. You can't have that. So Devin Lloyd, hello. His annual cost, according to the people who know these things and project these things, under $15 million a year. You take Devin Lloyd over Zaire Franklin? Yes, sir. I believe that you do. I'd take Devin Bush over Zaire Franklin. If I can get both them Devins, I'm really, really happy with that. That will free up enough money to go get a guy like Devin Lloyd and maybe Trey Hendrickson. And if you do that, you lift this defense far. You got to get Nick Cross back. That's an important part of this. You got to draft somebody at 47 who can help the team this year. I don't know how the hell you do that. I don't know what the magic bullet is there. Who's going to be available at 47 who doesn't need to develop or needs to develop, but in the current form can really help you win games? You got to get Justin Wally and Hunter Wohler back healthy. We forget about those guys, and we can't, because Wally looked in camp like he was going to be a hell of a player as a rookie. Maybe this year he can be that hell of a player, and he can be a guy you bring in for dime packages. That'd be great. We'll see if that happens. And Wohler could be an absolute beast on special teams and maybe as a linebacker. That'd be nice too. He looked like he played the part of a starting linebacker really well when we were able to watch him during camp. That gives the Colts a chance. That's a lot to ask. Those are a lot of asks. But it's not over until people start signing documents that transfer employment to other organizations. We got to be optimistic. Why wouldn't we be optimistic? What's harmed by being hopeful and optimistic, for God's sake? Monday, big day. Under the best of circumstances, the Colts, you know what? I think with all those things happening, they got a real shot at 11 wins. 11-6 AFC South Championship. If none of those things happen, they're looking at 5 wins. I think they probably land in the middle, which isn't going to surprise anybody. You want to make a little bit of money? Bet them to go 8-9 or 9-8, because that's what this franchise is. You know what? We crap on Chris Ballard all the time, but it's not all Chris Ballard. You know, when Chris Ballard took this job, One of the reasons he took this job was because the quarterback situation was settled. They had Andrew Luck, and they probably had Andrew Luck at that point when he was hired in early 2017. He was 5 years in. Probably had him for another 10 years. He wasn't going to have to worry about the quarterback position. And then all of a sudden, Andrew Luck decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to listen to my family and prioritize my family over my employer, which is something I think all of us would do. He did it. We got very pissed off about it. The timing sucked. The timing was terrible. But I still believe that the Colts had something to do with that timing, where Jim Irsay said, look, you know what? We're going to see. Why don't you see? We'll guarantee you your money. If you continue as an employee with us through training camp, we'll make this good, but let's see if that fire comes back to you. I think that's how he got the money for the following year. I think that was Jim Irsay's decision. The draft of Richardson was inglorious, and it was a momentary lapse of like safety first general managerial strategy, but it was necessary. You had to find somebody who could play the quarterback position, and Anthony Richardson had and has the talent level to be really, really good. So that was a risk he took. He rolled the dice, and he said it in an end of season presser. He said, "Look, I'm going to draft a quarterback, and y'all are going to run me out of town." That's exactly what's happened. He knew the cost, but he took the chance. Anthony Richardson, to this point, has not worked out. By the way, I keep Anthony Richardson. I'm not trading him. Screw him. You want to seek a trade elsewhere? Kiss my ass. You're an employee here. You're going to be a backup quarterback for Daniel Jones, and we're going to prepare you to play because Daniel Jones can't stay healthy, and we're going to need your ass to go to the playoffs. So be on your P's and Q's. Let's be a professional, and let's go. And it only costs you $5.5 million in 5.4 in cap money that you wouldn't have spent already, because if you trade him, 5.4 is dead to you. So the 10.8, you're only investing half that in who might be the best backup quarterback in the NFL. I keep him. Screw him. He wants a trade. Kiss my ass. You're an employee. You signed your contract. We're holding you to it. Let's go. At this point, I hope someone offers Daniel Jones more money, and then we lose Pierce so we can actually have a change in the front office. I am not going to root to lose. I'll do it with the Pacers this year because Halliburton's going to be back. It puts them in the game for who I think can be a transformative player next year and beyond in either DeBonsa or Boozer. But I'm not rooting for the Colts to lose so they can win later. How's that worked out for the Raiders, for the Cardinals, for the Browns, for the Jets? I could go on. It doesn't work out very well. Losing begets more losing. I think that's in the Bible. IU basketball, they earned a chance with that win over Minnesota to play a very, very meaningful game tomorrow afternoon at Ohio State. And they got a chance to win this game. What they got to do to win that game, I will tell you. By the way, Ohio State is the equivalent of IU and then some. And they're playing pretty good basketball right now. So IU needs to be on its P's and Q's. They need to hit at least 10 threes. Dorn needs to score double figures. Alexis needs to score, let's say, 15 or more. You get those three things to happen, and you out-rebound or are roughly even rebounding with Ohio State, you beat Ohio State. But you've got that rebounding battle is absolutely huge. Pacers tonight at the Lakers, 10:30, 38-24. All should play but Zubats. Then you got Portland and Sacramento. The Pacers, I am rooting for to lose. Let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we? The great Colin O'Keefe celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to Colin, who's a roommate of mine at Walnut Knolls down in Bloomington. Ross Bolin, happy birthday. One of the best sports producers and shooters in the history of Indianapolis sports media. The great John Cinnamon, former morning guy for WENS. Now he's found the job of a lifetime, and that's being a travel agent and a travel expert. So guess what he gets to do? He gets to travel on somebody else's dime a lot, he and his wife, Ann Craig. Clinton McCullough, happy birthday. Angela Smith Hoffman, celebrating a birthday. If today's your birthday, you celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, you celebrate somebody else. That's best done with an honest and specific compliment. Lift each other up. Don't pull each other down. Be very, very good to each other. Make today great. It's a Friday, so let's go. Ballard should have moved heaven and earth to get C.J. Stroud. Instead, he sat on his ass, and here we are. I'm not terribly worried about C.J. Stroud. You terribly worried about C.J. Stroud? You in love with C.J. Stroud last night as a quarterback for the Houston Texans? By the way, they're making deals. Texans, very, very, very busy. It's a Huey Lewis and the News kind of day. It is. That's a good call. Kyle says Pierce deserves to get all the money he can. He's proved to the league he can ball. I wouldn't say, but you got to be careful. You don't want to spend more than you got to, because that means somebody else isn't going to get money, and you can't hire a free agent that way. If Patriots get A.J. Brown, they will stop pursuing Pierce. That'd be great. We'd like that. We'd like the market to dry up for Pierce. Is that mean? After last season, yes, Stroud not looking good. I don't know if we need CJ. He's fallen off bad. A pocket passer needs a pocket. That's very true. But where are those in the NFL? You got 4, 5, maybe 6 guys on the other side of that line of scrimmage who are trying to pour across the line and collapse that pocket. That's their job. It's a Friday, so what do? We windmill. That's what we do. Get the legs involved, do all of this. You kidding me? Let's go. Windmill, you uncork that bad boy in the clubs. You're not going home alone. What about Cameron Jordan? I like Cameron Jordan. Thanks for the donation. Very, very nice of you.